This weekend, police agencies from all over Kentucky are gathering to train new law enforcement officers. But these new officers come with a tail and 4 legs.
WKYT's Carly Hogston shows us how the new K-9 units are training to serve the bluegrass. A story that's new at 5:30.
Whether it's tracking down a suspect in the woods or identifying illegal substances, a man's best friend plays a crucial role in any police department. And now smaller departments are also able to acquire these 4-legged helpers.
They can be anywhere from $13,000 to $20,000. I mean, just for the dog and the training itself of that handler. We want to make it to where it's a little more affordable for these smaller agencies that don't have the bigger budgets.
So that's why Lieutenant of Montgomery County Sheriff's Office Tommy Parker helps run a yearly 4-day K-9 training for any agency in the state to come learn and teach their K-9s everything from location tactics and narcotic detecting to simple obedience drills and teamwork.
You've seen so many different badges floating around out here, but when they're at this type of event, they're all working together.
And with just a $75 fee, K-9s are able to learn specialized skills and earn certifications that go beyond what humans can accomplish on their own.
They do things that we can't. I mean, their olfactors in their nose, the things that they can smell and pick up on. Like we have found elderly people that have wandered off or walked away. We found autistic children. So they are an absolute asset to any agency.
And being in a K-9 unit for over 8 years, Parker says that the job of being a K-9 also comes with a best friend.
You work an 8, 10, 12-hour shift with that dog, you know, and you spend literally more time with them than you do with your own wife and children a lot of times. He's part of your family.